Good evening, folks, and welcome to another edition of Ice Wolves Insider.
And it's Liam Brennan, the hat-trick goal, wins the Credit Union Cup for the LaGrange Ice Wolves.
Well, on tonight's program, we'll be chatting with Ice Wolves players Enns and Justin Ducharme, as well as Ice Wolves head coach Bob Beatty. And in our usual From the Stands feature, we'll be chatting with Ice Wolves followers Glen, Lafleur, as well as Kevin Radloff and Daniel Fink. Should be a great show. We'll see you right back. Welcome back to Ice Wolves Insider. At this time, we're joined by Ice Wolves players Enns and Justin Ducharme. Gentlemen, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you.
All right. Well, so far so good. Obviously, the first two games in the series with Flin Flon in the books, and you guys have come away with fairly lopsided wins. Let's talk about how you thought those first two games went, just kind of on a general note. I'll start with you there, Aaron. Obviously, you have to be pleased.
Yeah, it was definitely a great first two games of the series. To win them at home was big too. We definitely have had a heated series against Flin Flon in the regular season, and you can tell these first two games it's going to be physical going back to their barn, and I thought it was good to get to those first two games right off the bat.
Yeah.
For sure.
Justin, let's talk about the way Game 1 started. I believe it was just 22 seconds in that you guys are up 1-0 thanks to Doug Lindesmith. Describe the feeling on the bench, seeing that goal go in and hearing the crowd get into it that early in the game.
It was a great feeling just to see Dougie just score right away like that. Just gave us the confidence to just keep going, play our game, and just good things will happen. Yeah.
Now, obviously, this was your first action in quite some time this past weekend. Talk about how things, went or felt for you. You obviously had some points out there, scored a few goals. You must be pleased about how your debut went there.
It's been a good return, I'd say. I felt good, and Bob Beatty didn't overplayed me, just getting back slowly into it. And yes, I was pretty happy about my return, get the win, and yeah, it felt good. Yeah.
So you find yourself in a line right now with Logan Haroff and Reese Dino. Just talk about playing with those guys right now.
Well, obviously they great players, like good skills, and they see the ice pretty well. So just try to be open, and the pass will come. And we just had great chemistry so far, and scored some important goals there.
Yeah. Aaron, let's talk about, we're talking about just kind of the bitterness that's on the ice right now. It really seems that the Bombers are going out of their way to hit every Ice Wolf in sight, and sometimes it's not always the most legal play. What's it like being in a series like that where they're gunning for you like that physically, and guys are taking some abuse? How has it been in terms of trying to stay disciplined out there?
Yeah, we definitely we knew it was going to come. They're trying to intimidate us out there, but we're just sticking to the game plan. We're going to put pucks in the net every time they make a stupid play like that, and we know we can take it. So, you know what? It's working to our favor, and hopefully Game 3 and 4 they keep doing it.
Yeah. I think it was Game 2 that you found yourself in a situation where I think it was Jesse Mitchin of the Bombers decided to drop the gloves against you. You saw an opportunity, hey, maybe I can get a power play out of this. You didn't drop the gloves. Maybe describe the decision there, and I guess the relief to see the guys scoring power play goals after taking those punches.
Well, to tell you the truth, any other opportunity, I'd love to go toe-to-toe with a player like that, but I found myself in a situation where he was coming at me, we didn't discuss we were going to fight or anything. It was kind of a jump scenario or whatever you'd like to call it. But I just figured, you know what, it's kind of an open game right here, and I know we can score on the power play. So I decided not to drop him and just take the punches. And I thought it worked out for us. I thought that 5 minutes, and then it just got them more mad, and we just got under their skin from there.
Yeah. Game 2 also saw you guys go up 2-0. Then the Bombers rally with 3 straight to make it 3-2, and this is kind of late in the game. It's early in the third. Describe the feeling on the bench. Were you guys obviously they got your attention, but was there concern or panic, or did you guys feel you guys could still take them? I'll start with you there, Justin.
I felt like in the third we started a bit sleepy out there, but those 3 goals, well, when they made it 3-2, especially, that kind of woke us up, and let's go. We have to work hard for this. We just can't count on our talent, and we just show them out there, like, if works plus talent, we'll get the wins every time.
Aaron, were you guys pretty confident you could come back on them after they took the lead there?
You know what, we really were. We were really positive on the bench all game. We have been for both 2 games of the series so far. We knew we were coming into the third. It was going to be a character third. It was going to be a close game. And when they went up, it did nothing but fuel the fire. We rallied, and I thought it was a great win overall because they did take the lead in the third, and we just showed that much more effort to get the win.
Yeah. Just out of curiosity, I noticed I was actually in a section where there was a little bit of scrapping going on off the ice. Yeah. It seemed. Did you guys notice that situation? Like, I guess, what was your reaction to seeing all this attention in that one particular section with the fans kind of going at it there?
Well, I didn't even notice. My belt Marlene told me about it after the game. What was going on after the game with the fans? I don't know.
Yeah. Aaron, did you see anything from the ice surface? It seemed that everybody was, even though the players were looking in that section there.
Well, I know the Flin Flon fans kind of have that reputation of not really taking no for an answer, especially if their team's down. So I wasn't really surprised to see it, and I just seen the commotion. Everyone was staring in the same direction, but I mean, there's still a game going on, so you can't really pay attention to it. Right?
Exactly. So. All right, you got 2 games here against the Bombers, obviously in the Whitney Forum. Should be, again, a very lively atmosphere, but you guys were great this season at the Whitney. I think you guys went 4-0. What is it about that rink that brings out the best of you guys, especially this season? I'll start with you there, Justin.
Oh, it's it's a nice rink to play in. Like, they have, I hope they're gonna get a good crowd there, and it's just fun to play there. Like, crowds against you, but kind of motivates you, and you just play hard, play our game, and if we play our game, we'll have a good chance to win.
Yeah. Aaron, you get the final word. What are the keys to winning in the Whitney here?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, the energy's great. We're a team that thrives off energy. And you know, you get in off that road trip from Larange to Flin Flon, and you walk by all those pro pictures and whatnot, and just being in their barn is just something else, right? It's definitely, I know our team really loves playing in that barn. It's one of the more favorite rinks. I think we thrive off of it, especially because they always try and play bigger in their barn, which just means we got to play better too. So I'm definitely looking forward to this Game 3 and Game 4.
Yeah, should be good stuff. Yeah. Well, guys, thanks very much for being on the program.
No problem, my pleasure.
All right. Well, if you're just joining us, this is Ice Wolves Insider, and we've been chatting with Ice Wolves players Aaron Enns and Justin Ducharme. We'll be right back with head coach Bob Beatty.
Wetlands improve water quality and quantity and provide recreational opportunities, but they're disappearing fast. We're doing something about it. Become a member today and help conserve Canada's wetlands. Ducks Unlimited Canada, active by nature.
Welcome back to Ice Wolves Insider, and we're now joined by Ice Wolves head coach Bob Beatty. Bob, welcome to the program.
Thanks for having me, Kelly.
All right. Well, obviously you guys got a great start to the series with the Flin Flon Bombers, up 2-0 after a couple of home ice wins. Both games, you guys fairly substantially outshot the Bombers and came away with at least a 3-goal and a 4-goal win there. Maybe give us your take, your analysis of the weekend, starting with Game 1.
Well, we had 3 power play goals, on Friday and Saturday. Game 1, I thought, scoring early was obviously a key. Everybody was talking about how we're going to knock the rust off, the first 10 minutes being key, but it's not a 10-minute series, and it's a 7-game series. You're going to play a lot of hockey. First 10 minutes went in our favor, thankfully, and it didn't seem like we were that game rusty. Certainly not on the first shift.
Yeah, actually, on that point, it really did seem like that all the passes were crisp and the guys were really in sync throughout the game. That had to please you there.
Yeah, it did. You know, we had some pretty high tempo practices. We did work on some things away from the puck, but I thought, you know, we're fairly effective. Just a little review of you know, what we need to take care of away from the puck on our forecheck and defensive zone and neutral zone forecheck. You know, it worked pretty well. And we were moving the puck. I thought we controlled the play for the most part Friday night throughout the game, and I was pretty happy with the composure that we had, you know, on the back end, and also you know, some good plays up front. We missed some scoring chances. In fact, I thought we missed some real good chances on Saturday night that could have put the game away in the second period. You know, we hit 3 posts and you know, missed a couple opportunities both nights that I think would have you know, solidified our lead and put us in control.
Yeah. Discipline. It really seems to be the story of the series so far. In the case of you guys having discipline, in the case of the Bombers really not having a whole lot of discipline. How huge has it been that you've been able to capitalize on the Bombers' lack of discipline with those power play goals?
Well, it's huge, especially when you're playing you know, a team that lacks the discipline like they do. You know, frankly, it's probably the most undisciplined team I've seen in 15 years in junior A hockey. But you know, it's difficult. We have to, you know, remind our guys all the time what we're focused on. And I think they've got a pretty good handle on what we need to do. What our task at hand is winning 4 games and moving on. We're halfway there, and you know, it gets difficult when you know, when you're taking one cheap shot after another, and you know, some of them are being penalized and others aren't. You know, I think it's the volume of infractions that kind of you know, sets you know, the officials back a little bit from calling everything. I think we could have been on the power play 40-45 minutes both nights.
Yeah, I was going to actually ask you about that because traditionally teams are, you know, don't mind the whole let them play scenario, but in a situation like this where you've got one team that seems to be not afraid at all to take penalties and don't really seem to be caring if they're going to be penalized on a play or not, and then you have a situation where the refs seem to have, in at least one of the games, decided to just bury the whistle for the rest of the game. It's got to be a concern. Has this issue been, I'm just curious, have you addressed this issue, say, with the director of officials or with the league at all? Just wondering about how this is going to go the rest of the series?
Well, I have discussed it with the director of officials and the series supervisor has talked to me, you know, briefly about it as well. You know, we can only control, you know, what we do and you know, how we react to things. And I think you know, obviously as a coach, you know, you try to develop a culture that'll succeed, and you know, you have to have discipline on and off the ice in order to do that as an organization. You know, it's not perfect. You're not always going to be able to control your players' actions on the ice or off the ice for that matter, but you know, it is your responsibility to attempt to do that and the best of your ability. And I think you know, the coach is responsible, and I'm not sure what's going through, you know, what their mindset is, whether they feel that they can't compete with us if they play hockey, or they just it's the only way they can you know, try and stop us from winning the series. I can't say. I just know what you know, what our mindset is, and that's to take care of business.
Yeah. Has it entered your mind, I guess, in the first 2 games, and perhaps you think maybe this might a situation come down the road in the series where you decide to just not play certain guys as much, simply because there's so much at stake in terms of your season, and you don't know if a guy's just going to go out there and basically do a play where he's risking an injury to one of your players. Like, is that enter your mindset at all? Seeing the way the first couple of games have gone.
Well, I can't say that I haven't thought about it, but our players just have to be alert and aware, and we have to. We're not going to be intimidated. We're going to go out and play hockey and score goals, and if it's on the power play, that's fine. And if we have to do it 5-on-5, 4-on-4, we can. We can execute with the best teams in the league, so I don't see why we can't, go out and execute against Flin Flon. They not to discount their roster. I think they got a number of real solid hockey players, and I would assume that those players are getting frustrated with, with some of their teammates. But again, we're going to focus on going out and playing hockey and playing, all 20 guys, and make sure that, we're in sync and ready for the next series. We're not taking anything for granted. We're halfway through, our first series, and when we get there, we're only a third of the way to a league championship. So we've got a long way to go, and it would be. Certainly a travesty if there were injuries that could have been prevented, but we can only control what happens from our end.
I know we're really focusing on the subject, but I'm just curious. In a year where you got the Junior A supplement, and it's supposed to be about reducing bullying and violence, does it strike you as ironic that you find yourself in a series like this in a year when the league has implemented this? Like, what are your thoughts about the effectiveness of the supplement when you see the stuff you've seen in the first couple of games?
Well, my opinion is that you really don't need a rule supplement to crack down on, stupid behavior. But it is a little ironic that this would be. The year that you would see, teams like the Flin Flon Bombers, and I think that we just have to let the powers that be try and deal with that.
Yeah. Okay. Focusing on other aspects of, I guess, your team, you had to be very pleased with the secondary scoring this past weekend. I believe it was the first game where your top line gets the first goal for you, but after that, it's all the other 6 goals are taken care of by the rest of your team. There, you had to be delighted with that.
Yeah, it was certainly good to see everybody contributing. And, there were certainly a lot of players that contributed that didn't get on the scoreboard, but we knew that we had depth, at scoring, and teams that. We're talking about us being a one-line team where we're mistaken, and it was good that, to see, some of the other skilled guys step up and put the puck in the net. They're certainly capable of continuing to do so, and, we had a good effort from all 12 of our forwards. I thought, the Keller, Sushot, Enns line was very effective, and I thought Graham Samaric, Skylar Ledoux, and Nathan Boyer were extremely effective both games.
Yeah. And on the note of, I guess, young players, we saw kind of, the playoff debut of what appears to be a guy that's probably going to be in your long-term plans, a guy from South End, Franklin Cook. We saw him earlier in the season play, I think it was left wing, and this game, I think game 2, he was playing on the blue line. Seemed to have a really solid outing. Maybe give us your take on his play there.
We were very pleased with Franklin's play. I think he was a little nervous to start with, but he settled in and played a real solid game. He had 10 hits. He's a tank. He's a physical player that certainly is going to be a force to be reckoned with in this league. And we're real happy with his puck movement and the way he was making decisions and shooting the puck, and his confidence just seemed to rise as as the game went on, and he was certainly very effective, and he will definitely is a big part of our plans.
Yeah. All right. Well, Bob, thanks again for doing this. Congratulations on your opening 2 victories there.
Thanks a lot, Kelly.
All right. Well, if you're just joining us, we've been chatting with the Ice Wolves head coach Bob Beatty. We'll be right back from the stands.
Some people think wetlands are wastelands. Actually, marshes and other wetlands are important ecosystems, home to an amazing diversity of wildlife. Without them, some species would disappear. We would suffer too, since wetlands help purify and control the levels of our water. Many of these fragile areas are being lost to development, so let's do what we can to protect wetlands. To learn more, visit hww.ca.
Welcome back to Ice Wolves Insider. At this time, we're going to be chatting with Ice Wolves followers Glen, Lafleur, Kevin Radloff, and Daniel Fink in our usual From the Stands feature. Guys, welcome to the program.
Great to be here.
Good to be here. Thanks, Kelly.
Yeah. So obviously an interesting first couple of games between the Bombers and the Ice Wolves here in La Ronge. Lots happening on the ice and off the ice. Start with on the ice. Obviously kind of the start that the Wolves wanted. A couple of lopsided wins, badly outshot the Bombers. Your take maybe on the first couple of games so far. Start with you there, Daniel.
Well, the first game was pretty much as dominant as they could have played. I mean, Adam Bartko didn't get any action whatsoever, and that's probably the only reason he let in 3 goals is he was probably napping in between plays, and they just controlled the play, and the Bombers just weren't ready for it. Second game I thought was a lot closer, and we saw it in the beginning of the third period. We definitely saw the Bombers play very successfully in the second period, but really the Bombers got to stay out of the penalty box for the rest of the series if they're going to maybe try a comeback or extend it at all.
Yeah. Kevin, your take on the first couple of games?
Yeah, for me, the first game was just the story of everybody but the first line playing really, really well and showing that we're not a one-line team, and we never were, but just the press that the first line gets just overshadows the rest of the boys, and there's some dominant players that did really well and put the puck in the net, and like you said, Adam, you got to get tested early to get yourself rolling for the game, and a couple goals went in. Whoop-de-doo, we got 7, so yeah. That was good. And the second game, they had a really good second. We didn't have a great second, and after that we started rolling again, and penalties.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in more detail a little bit later on. Glen, your take generally on the first couple of games? How did you see it?
I wasn't able to watch the first game, but I went to the second game, and it was really a dominant game for the Ice Wolves. They really came out strong and, slept the second period and won the third, and everybody contributed in the play, and it was a team effort, and the result was a win.
Yeah, exactly. That was a game where it was a little bit of doubt, obviously, because the Bombers took that 3-2 lead late in the game. Well, I guess with about 15 minutes to go in the third. Were you guys fairly confident that they were going to bounce back in that one? I'll start with you there, Kevin.
I can't say I was 100%.
Yeah.
I got a little sick feeling for a few minutes,
yeah.
But you could just kind of see once they got in the box, that was it, and they just fell right apart. And I don't know if the right guys were on the ice for Flin Flon all the time, and it definitely showed, and they got burnt. They got burnt good.
Yeah. It really seems to be the story of the first couple of games is just, the Ice Wolves capitalizing what appears to be a lack of discipline by the Bombers. I don't know, the way we saw it, just myself watching the game, there just seemed to be a lot of penalties that weren't called on top of the ones that were called. So if the referees perhaps had called as many as they could have, it could have been like a lot more penalties that the Bombers have been facing. What do you make of I guess the Bombers' approach to this series so far? It's almost as if they're not afraid to take penalties, or they don't care to take penalties, just based on the way that they're hitting guys and so forth. Start with you there, Daniel.
Yeah, it's kind of tough to say. What I've kind of seen through all the meetings with the Bombers is when they're within their game plan, when things are going right, they're actually quite disciplined. They play very strong, they're very aggressive physically, but nothing outside. But as soon as something goes wrong, as soon as something's not quite going right, maybe a little frustration seeps in, maybe they start getting behind, then it's like the doubt starts to get in and, oh no, I need to make something happen. And then I don't know if it's a panic reflex or something, but things start to unravel, and then guys start to take runs or just take that extra shot, that extra jab, and really that's all it takes. One extra jab and all of a sudden you're on a 5-on-3 disadvantage.
Yeah. Glen, you must have noticed some of this, you know, I guess kind of rough play on the part of the Bombers, maybe sideways of the rules. What is your take on what you've seen so far?
Well, I think the you know, their undisciplined play was really obvious there in the third period, and lots of penalties, and you know, lots of hitting, you know, and they, you know, you notice in the bench with the coach there hollering, and you know, the players got worked up, and then at the end it just got out of control, and then I think it led on to the activities that happened after the hockey games.
Yeah, and we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah.
Kevin, your take on I guess the Bombers' approach, what we've seen from them?
I just see when they unravel, they completely unravel. They just can't hold it together. I was in Flin Flon for a game. Laurent won 5-1 in end of January, and it was a tight game, and then boom, a couple penalties, and we were up 4 goals in a matter of 15 minutes, and it's just it happened every game.
Yeah.
On the weekend here, they just it almost seems like they're just trying to just be tougher and show their grit. It's a playoff series, but they're trying against the wrong team. They're the best power play in the league, and they're going to put the puck in the net, and they're going to pay. So they can take all the PIMs they want. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and this is probably perhaps the most disciplined Ice Wolves team we've ever seen here. Like it's been it's
two games this season with no penalties called against after not having that happen in their entire history.
Seems to really be part of their identity this year. They just seem to thrive on that, you know.
Aaron Enns.
Yeah.
Aaron Enns single-handedly got that game in the trolley tracks, because he took that for the team, and we scored 2 goals on the 5-on-3, and then the extended 5-on-3, because they had a
they were on the 5-on-3 for about 4 minutes.
Yeah, it was a major, and they're like, well, it was that was definitely the turning point for me, period, in the whole game. So
yeah, Aaron Enns has been fantastic in this series. Usually he would be that guy that takes that extra penalty, or maybe drops the gloves with Mitchin in that situation, even though Mitchin completely had the drop on him. But he holds onto the gloves, gets up, and he's just laughing. So he's one of the most improved players from the regular season to the playoffs that I've seen. And right now, with the penalties he's been drawing just by getting the Bombers to come at him, he's been giving the Ice Wolves the series without factoring too highly on the score sheet.
Yeah. Well, Glenn alluded to it earlier. It's just a lot of the talk of the town really the last couple of days is some of the stuff that's gone on in the stands during these games, and also after the games, and like perhaps the lobby and the stands area. What do you make of all this? You know, we've had a pretty decent rivalry with the Flin Flon Bombers over the years, but I'm not sure if we've seen this level of animosity. Not even last year, when that was the first playoff series between the two teams, and the teams seemed more evenly matched. What do you make of what's going on here? I'll start with you there, Kevin.
It's it's not a friendly rivalry, but it's a darn good rivalry. Period. Getting into the playoffs and playing them 2 years in a row didn't hurt this year's, I'm sure. Them getting beat and getting the fans over here, that's great to see them here. You know, the only thing is, for every 100 fans that are fantastic, there's only about 1 that is going to get into that kind of stuff. So the percentage is so low.
Yeah.
I'm no angel, so I'm not going to lie.
No.
Last year's playoffs, you could see each series getting progressively crazier in the stands. You could really see it, and this year is just starting off there. So.
Well, when you play each other a possibility of 15 times in the season, I don't think this one's going to go 7, but who knows, right? And that's a lot of games to play against each other. That's a lot of games to be in each other's faces, and it just really shows the intensity that's built up over the last couple of years.
Yeah. Glenn, you witnessed some of the shenanigans firsthand. Like, I'm not asking for an account, but just what is your take on all this extracurricular stuff we're seeing in the stands there?
Well, I think it was just a continuing of what how it ended last year, and then I think it was, you know, a little more vocal out there and a little more intensity. You know, Larange had 2 good games with Flin Flon, and frustration came upon the Flin Flon Bombers, and then seeped into the stands, and then resulted in some undisciplinary action by some of the Flin Flon and Larange fans. So.
Yeah, I think it's worth pointing out there, like the point that Kevin made there too. I was actually in that section where there was some of that ruckus going on, and there was a lot of Flin Flon fans who were not at all contributing to the ruckus. They were well behaved and in other parts of the rink too. So clearly, it's not something where we're saying all Flin Flon fans are like this. It just happens to be one or two.
It's a very small percentage.
Exactly.
Yeah. There's a couple of them that, you know, caused a lot of commotion there, and you know, there was other ones, as you said, that were just there watching and cheering and stuff like that. So
a lot of bark and no bite.
Yeah. Okay, well, guys, thanks very much for being on the program today. I appreciate that.
Thanks, Kelly.
All right. If you're just joining us, this is Ice Wolves Insider, and from the stands, we'll be right back to wrap things up. Well, that's all the time we have for this evening's edition of Ice Wolves Insider. I want to thank our special guests this evening. That would be Ice Wolves head coach Bob Beatty, as well as Ice Wolves players Enns and Justin Ducharme. And of course, our fans in the fans segment from the stands, Kevin Radloff, Daniel Fink, and Glen Lafleur. It was a great show. We'll see you next week.